Test. 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 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Cool. Okay, hi everybody. Today the plan is to implement some kind of ACL log command, because the problem right now is that we can set ACLs, but if there are problems because sometimes clients get denied, there is no way to debug this kind of problems. So just let's make an example to understand what we want to accomplish here. Okay, this user is getting errors here, but there is no trace inside Redis about something going wrong with this user. There is no security log, and that will be slow logging on the disk. So it's very hard to debug problems. Sure, in each client, you know that you are receiving errors because the client will stop or whatever, or will throw error at some level. But there is no centralized way in order to understand all the clients that are not making the work they are supposed to do because of ACL problems. So what we want is something like that will show us all the clients that are unable to access or some command in this case, or some key pattern. And the log will be in memory, so as long as you flush away your or restart Redis instance or whatever, you will see no longer the log. This is basically very similar to the slow log, something like that. Okay, so we can start understanding how the slow log is implemented, perhaps. At least we can try to provide some kind of feeling to the end user from the point of view of the interface. So this is the function in order to create one entry. So we have the slow log entry, and actually this is a good way to start. Here we have the definition of the entry. Okay, we have the arguments, the number of argument, the ID probably of the client or something like that, or the ID of this entry, or some duration, the amount of time that the command spent during the execution, and when it happened, and so forth. Strange enough, the time here is in seconds and not in milliseconds. And other information. Okay, peer ID and CNAME. Maybe this is not great. Maybe we can do better this time after a few years of experience. So let's edit the ACL file and create a new stanza here. Okay. Well, security is kind of redundant. Okay. So, what we want here, the first thing probably is the reason. we have denied. We have two kind of reasons why a command may not be executed right now. One is ACL denied command, and one is ACL denied key. Okay. I don't think we really want the argument vector here. We just should be okay with something like object, which is the key name or command name. So I believe that maybe we will change this later, but makes sense that based on the reason we log just the command or the key. So no argument, no ID, no duration, not duration, but ms time, t, c time, creation time. You know, it's great to talk without anybody being able to contradict you, because it's like a monologue. No stress at all. So this is the creation time of the entry. And here we have the client name, but I think it's not a good idea. What about client info? And what I mean with client info is this output here. So we have the ID, the address, file descriptor, name, whatever, everything. It's a bit verbose, but as a lot of information can be useful in order to debug who is doing the problem. So I want another thing actually. That's count. Okay, the idea is that I would like to see something like that. Oh, I already have the file. Okay, like if the same problem, like client, a given client, or even different clients, are hitting again and again. Oh, wait. Very important thing is username. We want to understand what username created the problem. Look at this. I'm logging the username as a string here, as a first instinct, because I don't want to handle the fact that an old user can be destroyed. So this is just a log. If it was a log file, you would not see any way any change reflected when the users are updated. So this is a log, so I think we are okay with the username here. But I would like, at least if the user is the same, I would like to see something like 152 times. So the reason like command and not key, and milliseconds ago. So these are all the pieces I would like to see. This is not the end format we will have probably. And here the client info. Okay, is all the parts? No, we still lack the username. let's see if there is everything. See, yes, time, information, username, object, the object. Oh, this is the reason, but I needed the object, get. Otherwise, sometimes can be like key, and this is the key name, whatever. That's the idea. However, from the point of view of the output that the final user will see, if we make this a string, we make it hard to parse, but could be an idea. Or we could make this an array output. Let's check the slow log for analogy. Okay, we have nothing here, but let's sleep 2 seconds so that we have an entry. Okay. Yeah, this is just an array of stuff. So you need to understand what each field is, which is lame and doesn't play very well with RESP 3, the new version of the Redis protocol. So maybe we can try to output this one as a map in RESP 3, and users using RESP 2 will see something like that instead. Like they will see like count 152, and then we'll see username, and we'll see anti-reds, and so forth. However, if you ask this information with a RESP 3 client, you will see something more interesting, like count and username and so forth. So yeah, this looks like an acceptable compromise. Okay, so we have already everything here. Probably yes. So let's type this. Create ACL log entry, and to understand the arguments of this function, we probably want to go and inspect, when the actual check is made, the information that we have around when we check if a given command can be executed or not. And to do that, let's grep for the function that performs that check check probably let's see if we can find okay, no, it's not that. Okay, this is the place where we actually check if a command can be executed or not. So it's ACL sec check command perm. And we just give it the client, and indeed it should be enough to for our logging function to create a new entry. However, also I need the return value of this one, because I want to understand if the problem was about the key or the command name. One problem about that is that from the point of view of commands that have many keys in the argument vector, I will not be able to tell which key was that didn't allow the command to be executed. So probably we need to refactor this function here to also optionally be able to return us the argument position of the key that made the ACL check unable to pass. So ACL check command verb. Okay, let's see what happens here. Here we check the command. Okay, this is not a problem because we have the command name, and then we check the key. When we check the key, we extract the keys from the command, and here we see that it's not passing here for some reason. If there is no match, because we test the key against all the key patterns that we have in our ACL waitlist. So basically, if a given key is not able to pass, and as you can see, unfortunately, we here yet don't have the argument position inside the command. We just have a linear array of keys. So we can try actually. Okay, get keys free result and get keys from command. Here, oh, actually, yes, okay, no problem. Fortunately, get keys from command actually returns an array of indexes inside our command string, inside the argument vector, so that's cool. So we extract the IDX here, and if there is no match, we want to return basically k edx j, but here is already released, so we have to do as soon as possible. So if okay, so this function basically here we are saying if the user passed a pointer, because the caller wants to know about the key that failed, in which position it is, we store it here. And we have an additional argument here. Okay. And let's grep for it in other places as well. Okay, the first instance is here. For now, we just can pass null and then fix it later. Okay, all the instances should be now fixed. Let's check. Yes, yes, okay. Should it compile? Okay, nothing worked because we had already typed def here. And here there is an error. Okay, perfect. Now it works. It compiles, I mean. Another thing, here maybe we want to know also the context, like transaction, Lua, top level. Yep, it looks like it's a good idea because as you can see, when we grabbed for the calls to ACL check command perm, we have different contexts. This can happen inside multi-exec, in scripting, and when we execute a command at top level. And reporting this context can be helpful while debugging problems. So yeah, I think I changed my mind already. So top level, and so forth. So we have to change a bit the data structure. In reason context. Shorter is better. Okay. We will have to move this from here to server.h because this will be probably an argument here because we probably the client could be still flagged as multi or Lua or whatever. Okay, let's try to make this implicit. I mean, don't bust this, but understand what's happening just from client and reason and key position, and we can see if there is enough state inside the client here to avoid to pass this. So we can make this function more basically decoupled from the rest of Redis, and this is always a good point so that also these defines don't have to be exported and are local here. It's good. Okay, what we do here, it's allocate, and for now we can assume maybe it should not be like create ACL log entry, but directly add ACL log entry, because we want this function basically to be able to inspect all the entries, and if there is a match about username and reason and context and object, we can just bump the counter here, update the C time if we want the last time it happened, Yeah, we should reflect this millisecond creation update time. Last time, millisecond time of this entry. I don't know if we want the first or the last time. The last time makes more sense. Okay. And the client info as well, we want the last time. So basically, if we put together the function that adds the ACL log entry and the function that creates the entry, what we want to do basically is to scan the current log, and if we find that there is already an entry that looks similar, that matches certain conditions, we just update it. Okay, so for now, just create the entry and then reason about this. Count equal 1. Context is okay, let's update this later. Object is depends on the key position, on the reason. But the command name here is okay. Otherwise, okay, I think we can use as yeah. Okay, so this is an SDS string, and it's just the name or the SDS string. The command name should not be an SDS, if I remember correctly. No, it's just char, so we cannot duplicate that. Okay, it's okay. Object username, it's user. This should never be null, to be honest, because if the client user is null, it's like the root user, so it can do anything. So we can drop this check here, and we can just or probably his name. Yeah, username. Okay. And we want the time and the client info. Okay, the client info, it's we can obtain the client info like that. However, what is our client here? yeah, should be something like that. So yeah, we can say like this, and here we want the context, and the context will be like if okay, too many parentheses probably, no, okay, looks okay like that. Okay, so we created basically all the objects here. Now, before adding the logic to match this with this entry, we can create the entry and then try to match it with an old one, and if we find an old one we update, or we can go the other side. But probably, given that we did all this analysis here, okay, the context actually is an integer, and this is a good thing. So we could be tempted to create the entry at start and only later create the entry. Okay. At this point, we are going to need our ACL log. But we cannot define it here. It's better to put here where we have all the global structures. Okay. This is just a list. Okay, to start, we just create an entry without trying to match it with all the entries. We need a max length, of course, for this object, because otherwise will be unbound, just like the slow log. So we'll have also new configuration parameters in order to set the maximum number of entries. We could even use a fixed length, since we have this mechanism with which is able basically to make sure that duplicated entries are just logged once in a reasonable amount of time. So that could be a good idea, but it's better probably to be able to let the user configure the length of the ACL log. So here we will do something like that. Actually, it's probably better to add the new entry at the top. Yeah, when we show the ACL log, we want probably to show the first entry at the top, and the older entries at the bottom, like we do in a slow log. Okay. So this function type changes because we no longer return an entry here. We just create the entry and we log the entry. Okay. User. No, name is better, more descriptive. It's list add not hit head. So list add node head. Okay, it compiles, and yeah, in the next streaming probably tomorrow, we will continue basically this work, trying to make it working. So thanks for joining me, and if you have any question, I will be on Twitch for the next couple of minutes to reply any question you may have. Oh, actually, let's commit it.